This is the Alen BreatheSmart 45i, an air purifier that is 6 years old, but is it worth it right now? And why does it have so many copycats? 6 years after its release, the Alen BreatheSmart 45i still matches and sometimes outperforms newer air purifiers. Let's see how it stacks up in real-world tests. The 45i is no longer available in the UK, but I managed to pick mine up for £279.99p or $375.67 on eBay back in 2023. You can buy a new one in the US from Alen or Amazon for around $428 when I release this video, and I'll drop the links for those in the description. In this video, we will compare the Alen 45i to more than 100 air purifiers we've tested here at House Fresh, based on our first-hand data. To find out more about how we test air purifiers, please check out this video. As always, if you don't want to watch my full review of the Alen 45i, here are the 4 things I like and the 2 things I don't. First, what I really like: it offers solid air cleaning performance even on quieter fan speeds. 2, it has lower energy costs compared to similar performing units, which translates to lower long-term running costs. 3, you get multiple filter options depending on the issue you want to tackle: pure, fresh, odor, VOC and smoke. 4, it generates pink noise, which is less intrusive than the usual noise you get from most other air purifiers. What I don't like: well, the first one is it is more expensive than models from Levoit, Winx and Coway. Second, the lifetime warranty requires you to only use OEM filters or have a subscription with Alen. This is our first Alen review here on YouTube, so if you want to see more Alen air purifiers, leave a comment below and remember to like and subscribe if you like our content. Okay, let's jump into the full review. Let's start by looking for a third-party independent test that could give us a clean air delivery port, short for CADR. Publicly available lab tests like this one show that a manufacturer is open to third-party feedback and is happy to be transparent about air cleaning performance, energy consumption, and ozone emissions. So Alen sent the 45i to AHAM for a CADR testing, and the device was certified at the end of 2018. Based on the dust CADR of 207.9 CFM, we'd expect it to clean the House Fresh test room of all PM1 particles in around 30 minutes, which is the same time it took for the Dyson Big and Quiet BPO6 to complete our test. The report shows that the 45i generates 0 parts per billion of ozone, which suggests it uses a low power ionization process. According to Alen, its ionizer releases 0.001 parts per million of ozone when engaged. In comparison, the background level in the United States is 0.015 and 0.045 parts per million. So the levels of ozone generated are very, very low, but I do appreciate that Alen allows you to disable the ionizer for those who might have a sensitivity. With the touch of a button on the control panel, you can disable the ionizer completely, which will mean 0 ozone in your air. Now, this CADR report doesn't give us the whole picture, as it relates to the Alen 45i running at top speed with its ionizer enabled, so that's why we'll conduct our own tests with and without the ionizer and at different fan speeds. Before we jump into the design, let me say that the Alen 45i was released in 2019, so it's 6 years old at this point. The reason I share this historical tidbit is that many air purifiers look mighty similar to the Alen 45i. As we've seen with the Levoit's most popular models, I believe the Alen 45i has been a big inspiration to other air purifier designers over the years. And it makes sense because the Alen 45i and other units in the Alen BreatheSmart series offer some clear benefits in terms of design. Its rectangular design makes it possible for the filter to be easily accessed from the front. You just have to remove the cover, which is held shut by magnets at each side. The front cover itself can be replaced with a choice of 5 different colors and textures for an extra cost. It comes with a solid handle at the back that makes it easy to move around the house and up and down the stairs. The control panel sits on top with various buttons that are clearly labeled and easy to see, even in the dark. From left to right, you get an ionizer button, a filter replacement light that goes from green to yellow to red, depending on the filter status, a light button to adjust the lights on the panel with options for low, high, and completely off. The power button right in the middle, then the fan speed buttons, followed by the auto mode button, and lastly, a child lock. I have to say, I really appreciate the number of buttons you get on the 45i, compared to the minimalist touchscreens that are becoming the norm in new models. This makes the Alen 45i super easy to use use without needing to decode what icons mean without accompanying text and without relying on an app for some of the functions. The power button is surrounded by a ring that will change colour depending on the quality of air in the room, going from blue to green to orange to red to purple, ranking from very low levels to very significant levels of airborne particles detected. This colour-coded air quality indicator reacts to the data from the sensor that sits on the side of the device. I was incredibly impressed to see that Alen chose to install a Plantower PMS 7003 sensor inside the 45i. This is one of the best sensors you can find in an air purifier. The PMS 7003 is a laser particle sensor, which is the same sensor technology we use in our own testing due to its accuracy. Most sensors you will find inside air purifiers are optical sensors, which are much cheaper. The benefit of laser sensors is they're extremely quick to react to particle level changes, so they'll lead to more responsive auto modes and a more trustworthy air quality reading. By the way, Alen has now rolled out app support for all of their devices, so even if you have an older 45i, you might be able to use the app because Alen installed Wi-Fi functionality in many of the older 45i's many years before they rolled out the app. Sadly, I wasn't one of the lucky ones, so I couldn't connect our 45i to the app, but it is worth trying if you have a 45i at home. Even though I wasn't able to test the app yet, I combed through the reviews on the App Store and on Google Play, and on Apple, the app had a rating of 2.6 out of 5, and on Android, it has 3.2 out of 5. There doesn't seem to be any standout issues, but some customers were complaining that it's a very simple app. But it does look like Alen has been upgrading the app, as it now has historical data from the sensor and the ability to schedule when it comes on and off. I will test it when reviewing the Alen 35i later this year, so I will make sure to include my thoughts on the written review of the 45i that I will publish eventually on housefresh.com. One and unique feature of the Alen range of air purifiers is that you can customize your filter when you buy from them directly. The Pure filter uses only a medical grade HEPA H13 filter, but it doesn't have a carbon filter. For $15 more, you can get the Fresh filter, which comes with 0.66 pounds of pelleted carbon, and for $30, you can get the Odor filter, which also comes with carbon but an odor neutralizer, which is powered by a combination of activated carbon and catalyst that neutralizes the gases in the air that causes odors. For $50, you can choose the VOC smoke filter with the highest amount of carbon of all. You get 2.38 pounds of activated carbon. We can compare the carbon amounts to other air purifier models. The Alen VOC smoke filter for the 45i has much more carbon than what we generally see in other mid-sized air purifiers, with even more than the much larger and pricier Dyson BPO6. I like having the option of choosing different filters when buying an air purifier because I know that not every use case and not every room will need the same filter. By passing the choice on to the consumer, Alen allows you to customize their air purifier to your specific needs. Another highlight of Alen is that they have a lifetime warranty. However, you do keep in mind that this lifetime warranty only applies if you have an active filter subscription with Alen. In my years owning the 45i, I've also got to test different types of pre-filters, as the older 45i filter used to come with a black fabric pre-filter that stuck to the HEPA filter with Velcro. It would get super mucky, and over time it would be hard to remove all the dirt that would stick to it with a vacuum cleaner. One final thing about Alen and their filters is that I actually have a 2010 Alen A350, and even though it's been 15 years, I can still buy new filters directly from Alen. While the A350 is a much more energy hungry than modern devices, it can still clean the air fairly well. But enough nostalgia about old air purifiers, and let's jump into the HouseFresh performance test. We tested the Alen 45i with its Pure filter running at top speed with the ionizer enabled. According to our Purple Air sensor, the Alen 45i needed 30 minutes to achieve PM10 in our 728 cubic feet test room. We estimate a PM1 KDAR of 198 CFM, which does match up well with the AHAM Dust KDAR result. We can compare this to other similar performing devices running at their top speed. The table shows that for raw performance at top speed, the Vital 200S and WinX 5510 offer more KDAR at a lower price. I also made sure to test the Alen 45i without its ionizer, and it managed to clean all PM1 in 30 minutes. The ionizer function might be helpful for gases and odors, but at least according to our tests, it doesn't seem to improve particle removal performance. Next, we look at sound test data. Of course, performance means nothing if an air purifier is too loud to use. Here's how much sound the 45i generates from 3 feet away. Be aware at speed 1, sound levels are close to our background noise, so the 45i might be quieter if you could test it in a silent room, but please feel free to have a listen for yourself. But sound levels in isolation won't tell you much, so let's compare against other air purifiers with similar performance. The Alen 45i is one of the quietest air purifiers on our list, but of course it is completely outmatched by the PC fan-powered luggable XL7 from Clean Air Kits. But sound levels at top fan speeds are not as important as performance at quiet fan speeds. At speed 2, the 45i hits 42.2 decibels, which is below the 45 decibel limit we use for our quiet performance test. So we repeated our particle removal test for the 45i running at speed 2, and it reached PM10 in 48 minutes, which we estimate a KDAR of 123 CFM. We can compare these results with other air purifiers running at sub 45 decibel fan speeds. When accounting for lower sound usage, the Alen 45i compares favourably against other mid-sized air purifiers. But as with many HEPA retail devices, it just can't compete at low sound levels when matched against devices like the Clean Air Kits Luggable XL with its 7 Cooler Master SickleFlow 120 fans. As part of this review, I repeated the particle removal test for the Alen 45i at each of its fan speeds. At speed 3, it cleared all PM1 pollutants in 36 minutes, and at speed 1, it needed 2 hours and 24 minutes. Alen claims it uses pink noise, which should sound smoother than regular white noise, especially when sleeping, but does it really sound better? I used a calibrated mic to find out. Sadly, I wasn't able to clearly separate the frequency spectrum of the 45i compared to other air purifier models with a few different audio spectrum analyzer apps. However, to my ears and to Giselle's ears, the Alen 45i does have a smoother, deeper fan sound compared to other devices like the WinX5500 II, which seems to oscillate at lower fan speeds and also at top speed. But have a listen for yourself. Next, we used our energy meter to record how much energy the Alen 45i uses when running at each fan speed, with and without its ionizer, and also while it's on standby. If you had to leave your Alen 45i running 24/7 for 1 year, it would pull 341.6 kilowatt hours and cost $43.32, assuming an average US electricity price of 0.1268 kilowatt hours. With this calculation in mind, we can compare the annual energy cost you can expect from the Alen 45i with other air purifier models. When comparing energy usage, the Alen 45i uses the 4th least amount of energy from our list, beaten by the efficiency of the PC fans in the luggable XL7 from Clean Air Kits, the smaller Koei AirMega 150, and the larger Dyson BP06. However, there are more costs you need to budget for. It's not just about electricity consumption, as you will need to replace the filters in your Alen 45i eventually. Alen says you need to replace the filters for the 45i between 9 to 12 months, and as always, we will use the lowest estimate. The recommended OEM pure filters cost $69.99. This means that the total filter cost for 1 year for the Alen 45i is $93.32, and we can combine this with energy costs and compare it with other similar performing air purifiers. In the long term, the Alen is cheaper to run than the Dyson BP06, IQ Air Health Pro Plus, and the WinX5510. However, it is more expensive than the Levoit Vital 200S, Koei AirMega 200M, and as expected, the luggable XL7 from Clean Air Kits. Be aware that these costs are based on Alen's OEM standard pure filter that contains no carbon, and I would expect that this particle-only filter to last at least 12 months in the average home environment, so running costs could be even lower. Generic filters are available, and we had the chance to test the Pureberg version of the B4 Fresh, which does contain some carbon, and paid £29.30p or $39 for 1 filter and 4 pre-filters. We will share the data on the air cleaning performance of the Alen 45i using the Pureberg filters versus the other version of the Alen's OEM filters on our Patreon. But for most people, I recommend sticking with the OEM filters as they're backed by Alen, and it will also mean you'll keep the lifetime warranty. If you can, I suggest choosing the subscription for 1 filter every 12 months, and you'll also save 10% compared to buying from Amazon when you need to replace them. So is the Alen 45i worth it 6 years after its release? If we consider only the initial price and top speed KDAR, I can't recommend the Alen 45i as a budget pick that will offer you the best bang for your buck. However, the Alen 45i does have some interesting benefits that could make it worth the extra price. It has the same quiet fan speed performance as some of the best mid-sized air purifiers on the market today. It also has fairly low energy usage, which means running costs are also on par with some of the best models out there. It has a clearly labeled control panel, so you'll never wonder what a button does, and you won't need to use an app to enable and disable the ionizer as you would with models like the Xiaomi Pro 4. And then there's the noise it generates. Many good performing air purifiers can sometimes have a whirring sound or high-pitched hum, especially when running on lower fan speeds. Commenters on here have said that this has been their experience with WinX and Levoit devices, and I've also noticed it with the Xiaomi Pro 4. To my ears, the Alen 45i has a more stable fan speed, which might be preferable to those people with a sensitive ear who will appreciate a smoother sound. But here's a short comparison of models running at top speed to see if you can hear the difference. Let me know in the comments if you perceive a difference in sound quality between the Alen and the other popular models. Another big plus for Alen is that they've been manufacturing air purifiers for over 20 years and they are still providing filter support for their older models today. So if you want to buy a device from a company that will continue to offer support and filter replacements a decade from now, then you should definitely consider getting a unit from Alen. Their lifetime warranty is also unique, but be aware that you must register your air purifier and then use OEM filters via Alen's filter subscription, or be able to prove that you only used Alen filters on your device at the time of needing support. If you like the idea of an air purifier with a smoother sound that you can customize with different filters and that's manufactured by a company that will still be around in 10 years down the line, then the Alen 45i is well worth your consideration for rooms up to 300 square feet. Those with bigger spaces will need to upgrade to the Alen BreatheSmart 45i with its dust KDAR of 351 CFM, which I'm going to review very soon as Alen has just released their V2 version. If you want to support the channel, please make sure to use the links we've included in the description below to help us fund more air purifier tests in the future. As always, I will see you in the next video. Oh no, I'll see you all in the next video, innit? Doesn't matter.